5 budgets, 5 blunders. So the freeze continues. Since 2019-20, with CPI, the PA should be well north of £15,000. It's the paint job on the Boris Brexit bus. Imagine that leaving Parliament on Budget Day afternoon to tour the country. No gloom and doom. Not sure Kemi's riposte would have been quite so digging. Growth up, employment up, welfare spending down. Instead, we have this calculation, assuming Bank of England inflation targets are met. Will an incoming government raise the PA to £18,000 in 2031-32? Or will it be a 2% rise on the current PA to £12,821? Good luck to a future Chancellor explaining that one. It all started with my 4 budgets and no recovery. I stand by my assertion that none were good, all were bad, and one was ugly. I hope that my Clip 1 postcard was going to make it to you in time. This 5th budget may not have been as ugly as Kwasi and Liz's budget 1, but at its heart, like the other 4, it increases inequality by stealth. As for growth, it will be anemic at best. You need to think about those key questions from Clip 4. What about multi-million people investments? Do facts or feelings fuel our economy? Where are those animal spirits? I'll show you why I think 20 million workers feel more disillusioned. Said in Clip 5, the optics were all wrong. That definition of a working person was lost in translation. What is a working person? That question has dogged you. 3 of you couldn't agree, never mind the whole cabinet. Reducing inequality is the real issue. No need for subjectivity. Your whole team could be on point. Who really suffers from inequality? All those people whose usual income is in the lowest 25%. Remember that clip, London to Liverpool? Over on the left-hand side, around that lower quartile, there are about 15 million people either side of this lower quartile who will not benefit from the budget. You can include the millions of pensioners with an average private works pension of around 2,600. Let's drill down to all those workers around the minimum income standard. Between the 15th and 45th percentile, those in green, around the current personal allowance to the minimum income standard. So 30%, 9 million people. Pensioners not receiving pension credit with a strive for average additional pension of 2,600, around 5 million people. Self-employed, stats a bit hard to come by, so prudently, let's say 2 million within these percentiles. All those PAYEs just hovering either side of the median, so just above the MIS, 4 million people. 20 million low-income working people who face that dismal rise in spending power. These 20 million do not have broad shoulders and are neglected by this budget, like this lady. She earns £20,000 a year and lives with her son. The budget means she will pay more tax. By appeasing your backbenchers, you and they have turned their back on tens of millions of low-income households and are complicit in demonising millions who are correctly supported by benefits. Most would have been better served by a growing economy. On Clip 10, that report, Future of an Ageing Population. It was all in the forward. I want politicians to think about the choices made in this last budget and the previous four. From the forward, the UK has a choice. Will the growing number of people in later life be predominantly empowered, skilled, healthy, and able to contribute fully to society? Or will we be increasingly unhealthy, disempowered, and dependent? Unfortunately, this budget and the previous four are leading to more disempowerment and dependency for all generations. Remember my empathy lesson on Gen Z? Faisal's article from last year, Work Sickness Time Bomb that risks a lost generation of workers. That last paragraph. The big fear is that this could lead to a post-pandemic cohort of younger workers who will permanently drop out of the labour market. A generation dependent throughout their lives. Your article was aimed at Gen Z not opting out. Gen X opting out too early is a huge issue. Getting more of Gen X to stay in the workplace a bit longer would be transformational. Gen Z need a leg up onto the earning ladder. Gen X need a tax break to stay on it. Clip 9 illustrates how a personal allowance of where it should be £15,000 could be used to end the triple lock fairly and robustly deal with the winter fuel allowance. A pensioner should be able to have around another £2,500 of income before being taxed. State pensioners with no other income will not pay tax. If you don't grasp the nettle now, get a flak jacket ready for when the state pension is greater than the PA. 2027 by my reckoning, as you only have £22 of fiscal headroom. My solutions clip and a different take on how the wealthy can contribute over a series of clips needs serious consideration. This is the one that really should have been addressed. Reversing Jeremy and Rishi's two budgets would have been the real answer. That £15,000 worker would have been £400 better off. No need to raise the minimum wage, as the PA rise would be better for the low paid. Reverse some of that employer NI from last year. More jobs, less welfare, and growth. A personal allowance of £15,000 can be paid for, but the benefits would pay for themselves. No double page spread, just a bus. Press do the rest. End inequality by stealth. Get more of Gen Z on the ladder. Get more of Gen X to stay on it. Sort the winter fuel allowance robustly. End the triple lock fairly. Invest in 20 million workers. Make more people economically independent and less people economically dependent. Some homework if you have not read these. The report, Future of an Ageing Population, and two books. Firstly, The Blunders of Our Governments, and secondly, How Westminster Works and Why It Doesn't. Hopefully, Budget 6 will look to the long term and be brave, bold, and blunderless. Common sense is all it takes.